track 3 was a song called The Aftermath. Now, I have a feeling The Aftermath was one of the first songs that Dave and I had worked out when it was just the two of us getting together in my parents' basement to jam songs. The Aftermath had some new parts, but it actually incorporated a piece of unrecorded, well, not unrecorded, but an unfinished piece of music that we did with Apostle Void, a song that I wrote, one of the later Apostle Void songs when I started actually contributing music, called The Green Chapel. So the center section of The Aftermath, I remember pirating that particular piece of music from the Apostle Void's The Green Chapel, which no one heard anyway to this day, so it made no difference. But it made a nice little bridge between the new pieces that I wrote, and it made the writing process faster so that Dave and I could just, get started on writing songs. The Aftermath, pretty much a straightforward piece of punk-style angst, really lyrically. Again, I would, in those days, kind of angry, kind of rebellious as a person, just kind of would be very keyed in on events that were going on. I watched a lot of news, kind of, news being negative, kind of as me in that period of time sponged all this stuff in and was where The Aftermath doesn't talk about anything particular to the time, or isn't very topical to certain events of that time, but I wanted to kind of usually when I write, I kind of write things for all times. I want there to be relevance in the music or the lyrics. 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, I'm hoping that nothing dated appears in lyrically or hopefully musically as well. After all, Savior Sect is not a disco band or something like that. So so it kind of dealt with, basically just angry topics or things that I felt strongly about at the time. That the whole AIDS thing was still in commotion at that point in time. Not so prevalent as it was during the 80s when we were doing the Seance project, but kind of that still was there, so kind of captured that, the spreading of diseases and racial riots appearing in that, and body bags and the whole 9 yards of false gospels that people spread, and that spreads like infection, I believe is one of the lines from there. And the hypocrisy of things of we have in the chorus, when preachers let us bleed, or in other words, when people aren't behaving like they should be, not necessarily just attacking preachers, but it was something that was an image that got the point across that, as a preacher of God, you have certain standards set before you, and you let that stuff down, and it's really really shocking, and but it's also a very viable topic that is still relevant today with all the stuff happening that you see or reading, of pedophilia and all of this stuff going on, particularly within the Catholic Church or whatever. But it was sort of those type of things. I wanted to really, just listening to the news or reading the paper, or just kind of a outburst of anger in respect to some of the evils of the world. So it kind of, and in those days I kind of was not so undercover about my feelings. It was kind of in the face type of thing, and usually when you're younger, you want to throw things out and put it out in all its gory, messy way, I guess, you know, without holding back or without using tact or read between the lines type of philosophy. So I was not very much into softening things in those days. So kind of coming out, and each verse just went on about a different state of the evils of human nature, I guess. So yeah, nothing wrong with a good punk song thrown in, and you know, that stuff had been around since the seance days within me, and it would surface here and there with some songs. Yeah, so coming off of